Don't try and make everything sound good. This goes hand in hand with yesterday's tip of not soloing channels. Back in the dark days of the 1980s, I learned a lot about mixing by listening to some of the demo songs on some of my keyboard workstations of the time, but discovered that when I went in and found the individual sounds that they'd used in the demo as standalone presets, they sounded better than the same sound when used in the mix. And that was because all the effects processing available in the workstation was being used to get a really big, fat, massive sound on that one preset. In the mix, the processing had to be distributed throughout the whole song. But I thought more must mean more must be better, and so I synced my tape machine to MIDI and re-recorded those sounds in one by one in their fullest and most spectacular standalone form, and the mix sounded like shit. I'd got all day and no night, all light and no shade. When I went back to the demo song in the keyboard, the rhythmic synth part sounding a little bit weedy is what made the lead line sound enormous, and the smaller, tighter bass sound sat perfectly in the mix with the drums, whereas my epic standalone bass sound sat on top of it, along with everything else trying to sit on top of it. Don't be afraid to make some less important elements of your mix sound a bit rubbish. Tambourine burying the hi-hats, stick it through a crunchy guitar amp, roll the high end off and cut everything below 1K and you'll hear your hi-hats again. Don't try and make everything sound good, especially in a busy mix. Treat your mix like a roast dinner. You'll want a star channel, the meat. This will be augmented by roast potatoes, which will have their own light seasoning and, who knows, even maybe a herb or two. But you don't want them to overpower the meat. And the same goes for the vegetables. Pick complementary vegetables and limit them in number. If you have too many different types of vegetable, then you're going to end up with too many different competing flavors. And do you really need all 8 guitar parts with those 14 pianos? If everything in your roast dinner is too rich and full and bursting with flavour on its own, then you'll quickly get full up, eat a small amount and not really fancy the rest. Always, however, make more gravy than you'll think you'll need, and there's no analogy there for mixing, there's just never enough gravy. Join us tomorrow for the next part and help us out by giving us a big fat thumbs up, pressing the subscribe button, there's no need to smash it, and ding that ding dong and you'll see us tomorrow.